Hey everyone, so today it's the second session of the Let's Build, and for this first part, for this first half hour, we're going to make one system, and yeah, if you have ideas for the second part, then you can just send it in the voice text channel. So for this first part, we're going to make an NPC, where when you go in front of him, he looks at you, and we are going to use the world capture to kind of extract the face of that NPC and place it in the UI. So I guess we can just start with the NPC that rotates to look at you when you approach him. So we're going to place an animated mesh. And we're going to, let's use that one, for example, Ramesh. And we can equip some stuff. So you have two ways to equip, like to put some clothes on your humanoid. You can either like click on the properties, and here you can select the slot 2, 3, and 4 for the mesh. So I can double click here and pick, for example, this hoodie. Or another way to do that is to just drag and drop the part in the mesh and select the slot that you want. So let's say that you want that on the slot 3 and you want to change the hair, and you see that now you have a custom character. And you can change the color of each part. So if you want a blue like that for the shirt, you can change it here in the material properties. And yeah, you can really customize everything for each part, and you can either change the material. So if you want something like an hologram, you see that we can't really see it now. But yeah, you can have a lot of various stuff with those custom materials. And so what we want to do is when the player arrives next to him, we want him to rotate and look at the player. So because we don't want this humanoid to be networked, because the server don't really have to know that this NPC exists. This is a visual aspect of the game, so I'm going to move that in a client context. And now we have this humanoid in the client context, so it doesn't really change anything. There is just no collision with the player because it's on the client context, and you can't have collision with client context. But we can just drag and drop a box. Let's use the bottom align box, and I'm going to place it on the floor and scale the size like that. I'll reduce a bit the size of the box, and now I can just turn the box invisible with the visibility set to off, and now I can't go through the character. Maybe I can remove, you see that the camera is blocked by the player. So to avoid to have this camera like that, you can set the camera collision to off, and for the cube too. So this is the collision. And to keep the hierarchy clean, I'm going to select the client context and this collision and add it in a group. And that will be our NPC. So Barge is writing something. I was thinking a UI NPC is hidden in the world and rotates when the UI pops up. I don't really understand why you want to rotate it when the UI pops up, but I think we're going to get there with what I want to do. We are just going to add the small trigger so that the player looks at the NPC looks at the player when we arrived. So let's create a new gameplay object trigger. I'm going to force the collision, because when you have a trigger on a client context, by default you don't have collision. So it won't detect the player, and I will just scale the box so that when the player enters, then the NPC will look at that, at the player, and we're going to add a new script, NPC animation, for example. And so on this script, the first thing I need to do is to detect if the player enters the trigger. So I need that trigger in my script to be able to say when a player enters that the trigger, then I want to rotate. So I can say that the trigger is script.parent because it's the parent of that script. And then I can say that on begin overlap, which is the event that's fired when the player enters the trigger, I want to connect the function on player on begin overlap. Let's call that one on begin overlap. All right, and so now we're going to make a function that takes the trigger and the other object, because this event will give you the trigger and the other. And so let's print, for example, the name of other, which is the object that enters the trigger. Now we can see if it works. So on begin overlap is not working. It's not on begin overlap, is begin overlap event. And so yeah, this is in the documentation. So you see that now when I enter the trigger, the name KF is written in the logs. And so what we want to do is to say that the NPC must look at the player. So I'm going to give the NPC as a custom properties of my script. So now I can pass that line here and say that this is the NPC. So that's a reference to the object. And I want the NPC to look at. And if we look at let's look at the documentation. Look at, it's a function for core objects. Let's see. So look at here, you see that this is giving the world position of a cube. There is also this look at continuous for moving cube. I think we're just going to use the look at. And so I need the position of the player. So I want to get the world position of other, because other is the player. And now let's see what happens. So you see that when I enter, then the NPC is just looking at the player. And maybe we can play a wave animation so that when the player arrives, we can use the play animation. And I think it's unarmed wave. So all the name of the animations are in the documentation. If you go here at the top of the core API, you have the animations and sockets. And if I look for wave, you see that there is this unarmed wave, which is stand in place and wave. So that's something we want. And I can just use that play animation. And so now when I comes, then the NPC is looking at me and waving. And now let's say that we want, on top of that, we want a UI. So this will be a box. Well, there is an error here. Maybe we can fix that first. You see that it's saying that there is a nil value here, because sometimes other is nil at the beginning of the game when the player is not loaded yet. I think there is a small issue here. So we can just say that if other equals nil, then return. And I don't know if it's that. Maybe it's because Yeah, it's not working. So I think it's because the trigger is detecting the NPC inside the trigger. If we print other, maybe you can say what it is. So yeah, it's an object, you see. So first it detects an object and then a player. So we are just going to add a condition, say if it's nil or if it's not a player. So here we are looking at the type of other. So if it's a player, then it's true. And so we want to say that if it's not a player, then we want to skip that. Now it's working, we removed the error. And so now we're going to add so the UI with the face of the animated mesh in the UI. So as we saw the last time, if you want to make a UI, you need a client context, because this is where like the UI is only for the client. The server doesn't really care if there is a UI or not. And then you need a UI container, which is like all the UI must be included in the UI container. Now I'm going to make a panel which will be just the text, like the dialogue of the NPC. And we're going to dock that at the middle, at the bottom center. So the dock is the 0, 0 position of your object. Let's say that we're going to use the bottom center here. So the anchor is this small blue thing, which is the center of rotation of the object. And this will be the position. So if it's 0, 0, then the blue will be at 0, 0, based on the dock, which is the bottom center. So now if I want that to be a bit off, I can put it up, and you see that the Y is now minus 100, for example. And we can place that here. And the good thing when you use a dock like that at the bottom center is that when you resize your window, you see that the UI is always in the middle of the screen. And now we can add a background. So let's add a UI image. We want that to inherit the parent width and height. So this will just look at the width of a UI panel, and now the image will stretch and fit the panel. And maybe we can use the new tiled texture. So if you look here at tiled, you will see that there is some new textures that can give a lot of great thing in your menus. So yeah, I don't really know what we can use here. Maybe I think there is the parchment. Yeah, tiled parchment. And if we change that to yellow like that, we have kind of a parchment texture. And so we'll have some text. That's not what I'm going to focus on, but let's say that we have a text here, which will be the dialogue of the NPC. And I'm going to add, so we want an image with the face of the NPC here. So the 3D, yeah, the head of the NPC at that position in the dialogue. So if we want to capture something and to put it in the UI, you have to use if we go in the documentation, I think there is something about that with the UI. If we look at worlds, maybe not there. Let's search for, world space, maybe. Maybe in the UI image we can find some capture. So set camera capture. So I think that's what we need. Sorry for that. All right. And yeah, so there is no. I think there is no example yet for that. But what we can use is just CC content that's already doing that. There is 2 community content to get some icon. There is one from booradley. Booradley, I think it's like that. Let's look at the newest. So Standard Combo also made one, the thumbnail generator, but that 3D icon generator is also great. And that's a CC that allows you to make some items, for example, for your game. So let's just add that in our project. So to use that, we can just place the icon generator here. So it's saying that this is being used to create 2D icons out of 3D objects. So that's what we want to do. We want to take the head of the NPC and to place it in the UI. It's basically a photo booth. Use multiple of these to have different looks behind different icon types. And if we look inside the box, you will see that there is a camera and the item will be here. And so this will be the screenshot that can be used there. So this, we can just place it really far away so that the player can't see it. So you see that it's really far from the player. And we can either like just place it at the bottom. And so because it's under the world, then the player won't be able to see that. And we can use the single icon here. So you see that it's just an example. If we press start, you see that we have the sandbag that's shown in the UI. So this is let's look. This is a UI image, and the goal here would be to, instead of having the sandbag, to have the NPC head here. So let's look at the README. Every time when you import community content, you have to read the README. Sometimes it can be a bit a lot to read, but this is how you can understand how to use community content. So you see that you have to drop the icon generator in your scene, so that's done. You have to fill the camera ID custom property on the icon generator object. So I guess we can look at that. So icon generator object, there is the camera ID that's called default. So I guess it will just take the default camera. And then you have to create a template for the object you want to render. So it's saying that you can work the template inside the icon generators because there is a container. And there is this blue tinted box. So this is what we saw in the. If we are looking at the inside that, you see that there is these blue zones. That's just where we have to place our object. So icon container dummy object. All right. So let's say that we have our NPC. Where is our NPC? Here. So I'm going to create a new template from that NPC. Let's call it NPC1. Create new template from this. And now I can just drop that NPC everywhere, and you see that it's always with the same hair and the same outfit that I've decided because it's a template. And I guess now we can try to place it. So we're going to maybe make a group, because the thing is that the object will be spawned in the icon container. So we can place at 0, 0, 0. And so your object will always be placed there. So if you want to see only the face of your character, then you will have to move your NPC like that, for example. And so if I press V, it's better like that. So this is what I should see on the picture. So let's deinstance this object. I will remove that NPC and I will remake a new template from that group, which is aligned with the box. All right. And now you see that here in the icon generator single icon example, there is this icon template. So if we look at that in the hierarchy, you see that there is an example icon, and it's just the group with the geo. And so this is the example that we had. So what's happening when the game starts is just spawning that in the icon container. And so this is what we saw in the image here. So now it should work. If we change that with our NPC, if I press start, you see that we can see the character, but it's a bit on the left. So we are going to fix that. Let's grab our NPC. Oh, and you see it was maybe rotated. So I'm going to rotate not the group, but the NPC inside. Like that. Update template. And now it's good. Now we have the head of our character. And now maybe instead of having this UI image which is blank, we can just move the icon generator here. And so I don't need the UI container because I'm already in a container here, and I can just place that image right where I want. Nice. So now we have that NPC that's here. It's not really well placed, so I'm going just to fix that. Do you have some questions about this system? Because I guess we have almost finished the first part, and if you have some ideas for the next session, I see that Roach Cake, so you're here, so if you have if you want to share your ideas you had, you can put it now. Okay, didn't really change anything. Oh yeah, because I didn't move the NPC, I moved the group. So let's change it like that. No, for this session, Roach Cake, because we are doing like 30 minutes and then 30 minutes with a new system. I think I mean physically, so it rotates in the UI like a spinning bag. Oh, so the thing is that I think it's there is like if you want to refresh every time. Let's look. Let's see. You see that here we can maybe look at where it's not there here. single icon, so it's waiting and then it sets the image based on the capture. So maybe instead of doing that once, we can try to put that in the tick function. And so this will be done many times. So let's see if that works. I'm just going to animate the NPC. So let's play the, I think there is a talk, yeah, talk casual. Nice. So now if I update that and I press play, so no, it's not working. So I guess it's just taking the snapshot only once. So we need a way to say that we have to refresh the icon every time. Physical in-game menu. Well, you can't actually do some buttons that can be interacted with. Like you can't use button in a world space UI currently. So we can make that, but it's just like it will be a lot of work for something that might come in future updates. So I don't have anything about that, but if it's coming Monday, it will be way easier, I guess, because if we want to do that now, we'll have to use some raycast and a lot of stuff to find where the player is looking in the world interface and to pick something. So yeah. So yeah, Roachcake, you told me that you had also other ideas, so maybe you can try to share it. So yeah, let's see where the on setup shot, on cleanup shot. So it's using this setup shot and cleanup shot. And now icon manager set icon. So icon manager is the API icon manager. So this is this script. And register camera, set icon. So the set icon is get or create icon. All right, so get or create icon. So I guess if it's already there, yeah. Let's look at that function. I think it's not refreshing because yeah, it's just looking at the current template. So maybe something we can do is just remove that. If we remove that code, then we won't have a cache, so it will be just done over and over again. Maybe it's not the best because it's just spawning and removing the template. It's not working anymore. Oh yeah, because it wants to return that. So let's just return or we can just remove that. This is the check that if the capture already exists, then do nothing. Oops. And so now it will just make the picture again and again. But I think because it's spawned and then removed, the animation is not playing. And then I think Roachcake, we can try to make that for the custom character that doesn't look like anything in core. We can try to make that just after. I'm just looking of ways to make that work. So yeah, set icon. I guess we need to also call the something to maybe that CC is not what we need, or maybe we can just remove the destroy here and the destroy here, and if it's already valid, then return. So you see that now the setup shot is just going to spawn the asset and the cleanup is doing nothing. Or we can just add a return there so that the function will just return and this won't be executed. Let's add that in comment. Nice. So now we have the NPC talking and maybe you can just move it forward so that it's closer to the camera. All right, and now you can just try to, synchronize the animation or say that the UI container is only popping when, oh, maybe we can do that. So how you can pop this UI when the player arrives next to the character, that's something really important that you need to know when you're making a game. So let's say that when we enter the trigger, we want to send an event so that we can know that the player is here. So let's do something like broadcast player or just NPC dialogue. You can just send that, and maybe we can say that on end overlap, if it's a player, then we want to NPC stop dialogue. And we have to connect that to the trigger. So this is the end overlap event. And so we're going now to say that when the NPC dialogue starts, NPC start dialogue, then we want to show the UI, and stop dialogue, then we want to hide the UI. So NPC start dialogue. So this is something that we are going to, we need a script for that UI to control that container. So let's create a new script. Dialogue UI, maybe. Dialogue UI, and maybe we can rename that background text, and this is the NPC icon. And so by default I want that to be force off, and the dialogue UI is going to listen at those events. So you can do something like event.connect NPC start dialogue, and you can say that when it happens, then you want to show UI. And so this is going to be a function called show UI. And what I want to do in that function is to get the UI container. So now I have the reference of the UI container because of the custom properties, and I'm going to set the visibility to visibility force on, and I want the same. So let's try that. So now when I enter, you see that, well, let's move that NPC a bit far from there. Nice. So when I comes next to the NPC, now I have the thing, and I see that I broke something with the UI. Oh yeah, because it's under the background now, so we can't see it. Nice. It's better like that. So yeah, now the UI is shown when the, oh well, maybe I can also add here when the script starts, then I want the visibility to be force off, So even if I forget it, then when the player joins, it will be hidden. And so when I come next to the NPC, he waves and the dialogue appears. And now we can also connect to the other event, which is the stop dialogue. So that's just one way to do it. Maybe there is other way, but I'm just showing. I think it's a simple way to make something like that. And so this hide UI function that is called when we receive the stop dialogue, it's going to be a force off. So what happens is this is just the trigger and the NPC. And we have this broadcast that's saying, all right, if there is another script looking for that dialogue, then here now you know when it starts and when it stops. And it should work. Let's say that I arrive here, it's shown, and if I go off, then it's not shown anymore. And then NPC is not really... Maybe we can try to remove the background. I don't know if we have... I don't think that we can have something... Like this gray background is not really great with our UI. I'm wondering how we can try to remove that. Yeah, I don't think we can. Something cool could be to have this kind of a green screen thing, and I don't think it exists right now. Yeah. But yeah, at least you have your NPC moving in the UI, so I guess it's working well. Can you put a tree behind the NPC? Yep. Like a real tree, or is it to make something specific? Let's place. Could put the same 2D parchment but make it wall space. That's right. That's right. That's something I could do. Let's make that right now. So let's move to the icon generator, and instead of that, I don't know if you can. Yeah. Let's just try. So let's say that now in the client context we want a new UI container, which will be just an image with the parchment. If you want to pick the exact same color, you can do something like that. So when you are picking a color in the color picker, you can move that in the colors here at the top. And now I can just click on that color. And so that's great if you have a lot of colors for your game that you want to keep the same in a lot of objects. You can just drag them there. And you can even save that as a theme, so that's great. So let's say that's the parchment, and now we're going to use the world space UI. And where is it? Okay, so it's there. Let's put it at 0. And we are almost there. I must rotate that. Nice. All right, let's remove the frame. I will just set it to not visible. And if you have something else you want me to... Did not know that it's spawned in the middle of the world. Yeah, it's spawned in the middle. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it's not showing. I think it's because you can't. That's how can I explain that? You can't get some UI from a world space UI. I don't know how I can explain that, but it's. I think there would be some issues if you could capture with a camera some UI container and show it in another UI. So I get that that's why it's not working. At least we tried that. But yeah, I think the main reason is that you can't have UI container captured and then shown in another UI. But maybe we can just change the aspect of that to match more what we want to make. So let's have maybe there is a parchment material. Parchment, nice. It's a bit dark there. All right. Yeah, it's way better. It's not the best, but maybe something I can do instead is trying to pick that color. So yeah, I'm going to pick that color with that. So you see here you have the how can you call it? I don't have the eyedropper. So you can just click and get a color from your screen. So I'll just take that beige in the middle, and I will. Nope, I don't want that. So this will keep white, but I want to change the background of that to be the same color. And maybe I won't use the tile parchment. Let's say with a flat one. And yeah, it's a bit better, but we are almost there. But you see that you can try to find ways to have a UI that kind of integrates well with that. But yeah, it's good to know that it doesn't work. So Grizzly, I have a question about the game profiler. It no longer shows up when I press F4. Is that because of the new key binding changes? I don't think so. If you want to debug your game in published version, you can enable here in the game settings the play mode profiler. And let's say that I'm going to publish that game. As unlisted, and so now if I publish that and I start, I think if I press F4, the profiler should shows up. And yeah, we have 15 minutes left, so if you want, if you have another questions, or if you want to maybe improve the small thing we made. So yeah, if I press F4, you see that now I have this profiler that shows up, and you can see if some things are lagging. For example, I think that one is taking a lot. So this is the script that is we can't see a lot of changes, but you can also see the server, how it goes, if there is some lags, and you can also look at the log. So yeah, that's great. But yeah, if you press F4, this should work. Maybe pop-up and sound. Yep. Maybe we can add some sound. Oh. Yep, is it working? No. So if we want to do that, we are going to, in the dialog UI, so this is the show UI and hide UI. So in the show UI, this is where we want to make that pop sound. So first we need a pop SFX. Just one double. Yeah, that one is great. I think you can't hear it because I'm streaming all my screen, but it's working. And I will just remove the spatialization, attenuation, occlusion because I don't want it to be specialized next to the player or anything. Just want that sound to be played in the like with 100% volume. And I don't want also to check the autoplay because I want that sound. Let's call that pop SFX. I will just give the reference to my script. And now I can just say that when I want to show the UI, I also want to play the pop SFX sound. And now he's doing the little pop when I'm arriving here. So when you want to use the SFX, it's really simple. You just have to place it in your client context most of the times. You don't really need to place it on the server context. And yeah, this will be just play when you call that function. So it's pretty straightforward if you want to add that for your game. What can we make? Let's say that maybe you can let's say that instead of using the icon template here called NPC1, I am going to use yeah, I don't really know if it's going to work because I made some changes in the script, so I'm not sure it will work. Yeah, it's looking at the icon template because I'm thinking that maybe we can add another NPC and see how we can handle like 2 different NPCs. So let's say that now it's the NPC2, and we're going to change the color of that to be red. I need also to update that template. So this is going to be NPC2, and I want the color of that shirt. So let's save it here, and then I can update the color here. NPC2, and now we can create a new template from this. So now I have 2 templates, one for the blue and one for the red character. So that's nice. And so this is the second NPC. How can I make that? So what we want to do is, because we have the same script, we need to say that when we start the dialogue, we want a specific character. So I think what I'm going to do is just to add a custom properties. So for those 2 NPC, I'm going to drag the template that I need. So this is the UI NPC. Let's just call that NPC template. And for this one, the NPC template, it's going to be NPC2. So now on each group, I have different templates for the UI. And what I can do is to, from that script, we can get this component, so the NPC. The easiest way is just to drag that here, and in a lot of community content you will see that this is called the root component, and in a lot of Manticore script too. So the root component is basically the component that's at where you have all the settings of your object as a custom properties. So this is the root component, and I have to do the same for that NPC. All right. So this is root component. And now in my script, I want to say that root component, we want to get the NPC template for the UI, which is going to be that get custom property NPC template. So now from the script that's in the trigger, I can get that custom property on that object, and it's the value NPC template. And so when I want to start the dialog, I can send the NPC template, and now, so when I have the start dialog, here we'll get the NPC template. You see that now the parameters that you broadcast with an event, you can get that value in the, like as the first parameter of that function. And now that we have the NPC template here, we need to change that property, which is the icon template. But I don't really know if we can set a template like that. Maybe we can, instead of using the icon template here, we're going to say that the icon template by default, it's nothing. So if there is no icon template, then return and do nothing. And we're going to, yeah, maybe not there, but we can also connect to that event in that script. So this will be the start dialog. And this function start dialog is getting the NPC template. And now we can say that the icon template is the NPC template. So when I'm starting a new dialog with an NPC, this template is going to be sent. So this is either the blue or the red one. And here I'm saying that when I have this new dialog, I have to change the icon template. So now in the tick, it's setting the icon to this specific icon template. I don't know how this, like I'm kind of scared that maybe both of them will be there at the same time, because what I changed in the, if we look at the API icon, what I removed is the fact that now it's not destroyed. Here, so yeah, now it's not destroyed anymore. Let's see what happens. So here I have the first NPC, it works, and when I come here, yeah, I have also the first NPC. Yeah, I think let's look at the value here. I think this is working, but then the fact that I changed the community content kind of broke everything. Yeah, you see that here in the event log, it's the right values. So I have the NPC1 and NPC2. So at least I have the right values, but it's not updated. Let's look at the set icon. So the set icon, if there is an image, clear the image, then it gets or create the icon. I just need to find where I remove the destroy. It's not that one. Yeah, it's here. So on setup shot, on cleanup shot. So I think I will remove that. So this is going to clean. But I'm going to clean only if the template is different. So I guess now we can have the full animation ongoing. So so here we have the cleanup shot. So we don't want to make that every time. We just need to clean up the shot. We have to do that before. So we want to clean up the shot if it's different. So if the template is different to the current template, then we clean up the shot. And now the current template is the template. And let's say that. So this variable is going to save the current template. When I come here the first time, then the current template is nil, so it will just set up the shot. And when I visit the second NPC, the template will be different than the current template. So it will destroy the object and spawn the new one. And I guess it will work. And if it doesn't work, then you can see the daily routine of a developer. That's just, oh, it's working. So yeah, it's working. So you see that now the object is always kind of destroyed when it's a new one. And what's nice, because like now this system is there and it's working, I can just make a new NPC. And let's say that this NPC, let's change like everything. Let's say that it's Camille. We want that and the trousers and that. So this is our new NPC. Let's create a new template for that NPC 3. So yeah, I need to move this one at the right place. So you can also copy the position or the transform of an object here. So I can copy the position and pass the position here. And I can do the same with the rotation. All right. So this is our NPC 3. And now here as a custom property, I need the NPC 3. So if I come here, I have this NPC. Nice, the system is done. We are 1 minute off of the time, but at least we have this system that's working pretty well. I don't know if it's really optimized, but because it's only on the client side, I guess it won't matter a lot. But yeah, now we have this NPC system that's here. I can just maybe remove the little print I have here. And yeah, that's it for this session. Is there some final questions that you have about that? I don't really know if I will add it as a community content, because it's not, yeah, there is a lot of things we can improve, because having to make the template every time, it's a bit of work. So I think there is more ways to just define the NPC here, and then it will kind of duplicate it and play the animation. So yeah, I guess for like as an assignment for the next time, I will put the system. So basically it's just that UI. So this is the UI dialog thing with the sound and the icon. We have the icon generator that needs to be here, and we have the 3 NPCs. And so if you want to use that for your game, you have to change the NPC here, the skin, and you also need to start from that template. It's really important to start from that one so that it will be always positioned at the correct place for like to generate the UI. And you can just place it here at the right position. All right, nice. Thanks for the the little messages. And yeah, I will share that, and the replay will also be available on the forum tomorrow. So if you have more questions, don't hesitate to just ask on the forum, and I can ask if I can answer if you have some issues with that system. All right. So I think it's the end. If you have ideas for the next session, just keep those ideas in your mind, and come next Monday, maybe a bit before 10 a.m. Pacific time, so that we can pick something and then spend 30 minutes or the full hour just making what you want. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a great day or great evening wherever you are, and see you next Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, same place, same time. See you.